and welcome to the 36th part of the series on self-exploration, joining the dots, contemplating, comprehending and sharing it with you all raw. All that sounds great is the grace of all those who have blessed me, and all that sounds not so great is my limitation. So let's get going. We are discussing the Davincian intelligence in these 10 parts. We are on the 6th part. Those who have directly landed on this part may check out for the links of other parts in the description box below. The 6th part of Davincian intelligence, we are discussing the 5th principle of Davincian intelligence, the arte scienza. Arte scienza is whole brain thinking. It is the development of the balance between science and art, logic and imagination. Physiologically, we all know that our left brain dominates logical analytical thinking and the right brain dominates imaginative or a big picture thinking. Right brain thinkers are often labeled as learning disabled right from the school ages. They are daydreamers, imaginative, creative. They keep looking into zero. When a teacher is teaching something, they are not attentive. They are in their own world. That always reminds me of a Hindi movie, Tare Zameen Par, where the protagonist, the child, is such a creative child and he is always looked down upon. And then the movie goes ahead and he gets his own respect and recognition in school. Just like the kids who ask questions are often quieted. This is what we discussed in Curiosita, that the curiosity of the children is not catered to or paid attention to as much as it should be. In the same way, imaginative kids, they are also quieted many a times. Those children who give big dream pictures or if this happens, if that happens, look mama, there will be a big cloud like this, and big stories they make, we either ignore them or just quiet them. We are least enthusiastic about their grand plans and their grand explanations. And many a times we comment that stop coming with mad ideas. Do what the book is telling. If the child wants to elaborate in his own way on something written in the textbook, we hardly encourage it. Another big mistake, because most of the times big inventions were a result of crazy ideas and imaginations to start with. If we are going to curb the same, how we can expect that a scientist will be born in our house? If we wish that our child becomes a super brain or he is a super brain and he should come out with something brilliant, we also need to become super parents. We cannot be parents who ignore, neglect, don't have that extra, they don't want to walk that extra mile with the child. Be a child, spare some time, manage your priorities and give quality time to the child. Understand the psychology of the child. We need to be special parents if we wish our children to be special children, super children. Da Vinci was a whole brain thinker because he always presented his scientific work artistically and he explained his art pieces with scientific and mathematical precision. One very famous painting of Da Vinci is a wing of a bird. Most of you must have seen the picture. And that wing has all the physiological details specified in it. And that makes the painting eternally beautiful. That is what Leo always said, that a painter must know human anatomy very well to make his pictures lively. Now in the last part, sfumato, also we talked of looking at our own postures, or what our body is telling us, listening to the voice of our body, or looking at our anatomy. In this part also we are talking of knowing our anatomy well, and in the next part we will join dots to use this maturity to bring grace and poise. So, knowing human anatomy will not only make you a good artist, a good creative artist, it is also going to help you to build a better you. In children also, we must always encourage them to study the science of art and the art in science. It is very important to have a holistic approach. Art and science are not two different parts, they are very well woven in each other. If we wish to discuss and look into ourselves, assess ourselves, how well we are in coupling our logic and imagination, we can just check down on a few points whether we like down details of each thing I do. I like to know it in every angle. We always hear of some very good popular artists, cine artists, who are very much interested in the technical aspects of movie making, production, direction, camera, everything. So they are looking at it as a whole thing, against some actors who just stand in front of camera and give their dialogues and give their scenes and go away. So such detailing, if I'm liking, and if I'm liking to see a thing from every angle, probably I have this artisanza germ in me. Or maybe our friends comment that you're very articulate, you need everything to the downest details. Why you need this? You do your job and go. No, I want every detail of it. If I can brilliantly analyze what comes in front of me, if that is one of my strengths, that I can really analyze anything that comes across. It could be a book, it could be an art piece, it could be some dish prepared, it could be a house in which I'm entering. I look at that house aesthetically, I look at that house utility point of view, the structure, the cement used, everything. That tells that I have a whole brain thinking. And whole brain thinkers are at the same time very highly imaginative, because they have that aspect of their brain also developed and coupled with logic. Understand that when imagination is coupled with logic, that imagination goes to a different height. They say or they do the unexpected because they have a bigger picture, and if that is coupled with courage to get into it, to jump into it, that becomes a super combination. So I just need to bring you back to the idea that this is a step up program. We've started from curiosity, then experiencing, experimenting, sensing, smoking up, and now into whole brain thinking. So developing the earlier steps, evolving through the earlier steps, and then adding one more to it gives a finishing touch, and we are going to the higher and higher levels of self excellence. We are on the fifth step of self excellence now. So when a whole brain thinker talks something unexpected, imaginative, larger than life picture, maybe commoners may not understand it, they may not appreciate it, they may not acknowledge it, they may say that no, this is not possible. But a whole brain thinker, because he has good logic also, and he has the capacity to smoke up, to throw his entire being, his blood and sweat into his idea. He has a good sensory impulse or sensory evolvement, we can say. It becomes a very different thing to think of. They may sound illogical, impractical when someone listens to them, but they have the capacity to rely on their intuition, the call of their heart, that I believe this will happen. I can make this happen. I want to jump into it. I want to take that risk. Instead of dying not having tried something, I would better die having tried something and then unsuccessful. That is okay. So they have that nerve to jump into the things. They have that much confidence on their logic and imagination and the coupling of that. Whole brain thinkers will always visualize the final version on their mental board, and then they will carve their path backways systematically, and therefore their growth is ultimate because they have already seen the final picture and they are walking towards it. In the process, even if they stop in between, they have taken the project, the idea, the germ up to a certain level, and then probably someone else may pick it up from there. This is how discoveries are made. This is how certain inventions are made. They could not be made by one person in one life. He takes the germ up to a certain level and then someone else takes it ahead. So the growth of the person who could not take it to the ultimate is not seen by the material world, but he has grown. If a problem has 10 steps and a person has solved the first 5 steps, he may not be declared as a winner because the one who will do the 10th step will be called as the winner. But has not the first person grown? He has grown. And that growth is ultimate. It is the real growth, true growth. And this spirit develops the grace, the poise, that I know that I am initiating something which I may not be able to take to the ultimatum. I depend or I believe that the universe will arrange to take it ahead, but because I am not going to be able to go to the 10th step, why should I not walk the first 5 steps? That could be a stepping stone for somebody. This is the grace, this is the large mind, this is the whole brain thinking. A poise, a decency, a benevolence beyond the scope of material world to comprehend. Those who are sticking to their own interests throughout their lives may never understand this final picture thinking or big picture thinking. And this poise, this grace is the next step of Davincian intelligence. Just feel how we are at the same time growing the branches and going deeper in the roots also. We are learning steps to evolve or develop externally, materialistically. At the same time, we are picking up very subtle signals for a deep self-excellence, a deep growth penetrating into ourselves. Corporalita, the next step of Davincian intelligence, we discuss in the next part. Stay tuned. Bye.